Embracing the Chinese thrill for shopping. Now this is thoughtful. Hi, I'm Trevor Lai in Shanghai. This is a special edition of Thoughtful China for the 4th China Connect conference coming up on March 6th and 7th in Paris. This year's theme, Embracing the Chinese Thrill for Shopping, is timely as China will become the world's #1 e-commerce market in 2014. Our show's executive producer, Normandy Madden, will be on hand again this year to moderate conversations with some of the most cutting-edge players in China's internet and mobile ecosystems, as well as sought-after marketing and communications professionals from Asia Pacific, China, and Europe. Find out who's speaking on www.chinaconnect.fr. There's no doubt that e-commerce, mobile connections, and digital innovation are changing China. This conference will help you navigate that market's complex proprietary environment and make better business decisions. We hope to see you there. In the meantime, here are some clips from past guests on Thoughtful China also looking at China's e-commerce market that will help you make sense of the exciting and fast-changing marketplace. You can see more episodes of our show at www.thoughtfulchina.com. Thanks for watching. What are some of the differences between China and the US and Europe in terms of the way that consumers shop and also in terms of what they shop for? Let's start with consumers, Dale.
So we see a couple of differences in terms of consumers in China versus the rest of the world. If we think about income, we see they're slightly higher income versus the rest of the world, so that's an important difference. In terms of the way they shop, we see differences, and also the why they shop. In terms of the way they shop or what they buy online, we see, if you look at other markets, electronics is very, very popular online, generally #1 category. If you look at China, it tends to be things like apparel. China does have some differences, some unique differences. If you think about things like personal care and baby products, in other markets around the world that could be 3 or 4% of the category. In China that can be 20% of the category. And in fact for some manufacturers it can be 40% of their sales, so quite big. And then in terms of why they shop online, look at other markets around the world and it's often for convenience. It's just, it saves time, it's a very convenient factor. In China, it's all about price. Consumers are going online to find the best possible price.
And George, what do you wish advertisers understood better about using e-commerce in China?
So I think if I could sum it up in one word, it would be integration. What I believe is important that brand clients understand that e-commerce is just one part of their overall digital strategy, as well as also their overall integrated strategy offline.
So by 2015, China's e-commerce will be larger than the United States and the biggest in the world. So you have to be online, that's the first case. Second case is look after your own store. Own media, your storefront, your consumer experience, that is a key critical item. After you've dealt with your website, then talk about paid media. Talk about where you're going to advertise, where should you invest your search money, where are your sales. Without first taking care of your own brand, there's no point in discussing where you're going to spend your advertising dollars.
But are you surprised also about the Chinese consumers' willingness to purchase fashion accessory products online and actually go through the e-commerce route? Do you think that's a viable option?
It's a viable option. We've experimented a bit. We've done a project with Tmall back in December, which was a very successful marketing exercise. We had almost 4 million unique visitors in a 4 to 5 week period come to the site. We drove a lot of traffic to our official site. So from a marketing perspective, very, very successful. From a commercial perspective, I think it's still a little bit early. And it's the type of channel that really does need to be controlled by the brand. It's still an off-price market online, and you need to be quite careful when you're marketing through that channel that you're controlling your merchandising, your pricing, as well as the appearance of the site.
From your own experience, what do you think foreign companies need help from to set up e-commerce companies in China?
Sure. The challenge is that there's a series of mechanical tasks that unless you have local familiarity, local competency, it's all new to you. So for example, as I mentioned, customs clearance, local registration, even renting a warehouse locally. If your company can only sell maybe $1 million or $2 million online in China, it's very difficult to put somebody into Shanghai to interview warehouse operators, to rent space, to hire a warehouse operator and so forth. Web design might be the same activity. Express company, last mile delivery. So there's a series of reasonably small mechanical steps that can be just burdensome if the company's based in the United States and they simply can't afford the management bandwidth to set all of that up. So we've set it up.
Chinese consumer loves shopping online because they have so many new choices and can easily integrate shopping into the current online habits. As a result, shopping online is becoming a seamless part of their daily life, both during work hours and spare time. Let's take a deeper look into who these consumers are and why they engage so heavily in online purchases. In terms of demographics, we see currently two types of online shoppers, the Baifumei and Guafushuai, which literally means good-looking, rich, and refers to the urban elites who are largely educated professionals, and the grassroots, a popular term for novice internet users. Research shows that even though online shoppers in Tier 4 cities, those grassroots shoppers have lower average income, the amount they spend online tend to be similar to those of shoppers in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. This translates into a higher wallet share for online spending in lower tier cities, and the main driver here is access to greater assortments of goods online than offline. While pricing remains the real key factor in around 50% of all purchases for both groups, it may not be the most crucial motivators for online purchases in lower tier cities. Equally important are convenience, time-saving shopping, fast delivery, and up to a quarter of e-commerce demand in China is for product consumers cannot find in physical store. Lastly, we see an increased reason for consumer to buy online as leading retailers start to develop a true multi-channel platform integrating the online and offline shopping experience.
One brief sentence, just one sentence to describe the biggest challenge for e-commerce companies operating in China.
I think right now the biggest challenge for at least the big e-commerce sites in China is actually turning current investments into profits, because most of them are not profitable yet.
Similar answer, but my answer is more that they have no way of quantifying returns on investment.
Yeah, I would say like be patient and have a long-term mindset.
Tell me a little bit about what you mentioned on the products tailored for e-commerce. What kind of products would sell well?
You know, online, in the online environment, it's easy for you to tell the detail about your product. So it's easy to do upsell, easy to do cross-sell, and also people tend to buy, you know, more SKUs, more products in online environment, because they think this is there's a bargain business, and also it's easy for the delivery. You know, if you buy on the physical stores, you need to carry yourself, but for the online channel, the delivery people will send it to your home directly, and you don't need to bother about carrying. So we really give them some incentive to buy there.
Chinese are big online shoppers, but they don't click and buy like their counterparts in the West. So here are 3 things to keep in mind to win their wallets. First, presentation. Westerners may get an epileptic seizure looking at a Chinese website with all that bling and blitz. Websites in China contain about 30% more information than European or US sites. The trick is in sophisticated filtering. Chinese don't view this as information overload though. They demand information at their fingertips and convenient filters. Taobao's layout is so efficient it takes you only a couple of clicks to find the product you're looking for. Second, motivation. Westerners mostly shop online for convenience, but in China, the kick for the click is much more driven around availability and value. Availability means access to brands and goods otherwise not available beyond Tier 2 cities. Try buying the latest Sony camera or limited edition Louis Vuitton bag somewhere like Datong without going online. Value is even more important. Most Chinese pride themselves on their bargain hunting skills. When it comes to finding and getting the best deals, the internet is the ultimate tool to compare prices and get opinions. Third, obstruction. China is plagued by fake products and ingredients. Trust is commonly ranked as the top obstacle to making an online purchase. Taobao's parent Alibaba took an important step to this downside with Alipay to ensure consumers pay only for products that they wanted to pay for. But consumer protection remains the key challenge to growing e-commerce in China. So here are the key things to remember. Present comprehensive information and understand what will motivate consumers to buy your products online. Provide outstanding value, availability, and delivery. And make sure shoppers can trust you.
That wraps it up for today. Be sure to subscribe to us on Youku, Tudo, and YouTube. You can also follow us on Weibo and Twitter and join our LinkedIn group. We'll see you again.